Hello and welcome. I'm so happy to see you all show up for the AHA meeting, our first one in Denver, and I hope to see you at future ones. It went wonderful, except the printer wouldn't talk to the computer, so those of you who did not send in the information ahead of time, you didn't have a printout. Well, if you send me your information, I will email you a printout. And I'm also sending a recording, so you'll have that. But one of the things I wanted to accomplish, because I'm used to doing workshops and having a lot of time, and I ran out of time and wasn't able to do some of the things I wanted to do, and we had to vacate the building. So I figured, let me make a video, and then you have this, and you can watch it, and you can design yourself how you're going to do this. And in a way, it's probably better because you have this and you can, you can use this method in many different ways. So we all have our human design chart, okay? And on the right, in the red, is the date for 88 days before you were born. And that's when the soul made the decision that it is going to incarnate. And we all come in with good stuff and stuff that is not so good, that's in the way. And what I realized is we have a trapped emotion that comes in with that decision. Like, we're going to incarnate, but, we have to overcome this, or we have to deal with whatever. And I was able to take my date and the time and cast an astrology chart for the place and the minute of when that decision was made, and it was absolutely amazing. And I did it, on a few other people, and again, it was amazing. So it proved out that this theory of mine is accurate. What I do know is that my friend Dr. Marinelli, who clears this 88-day emotion also, doesn't have astrology, doesn't have the human design, so you can still clear this 88-day trapped emotion without even knowing what it is. So I use the emotion code for this specific thing, and I use a frequency pen that has all these healing frequencies on it, but you can use an ordinary magnet. And don't get hung up on what type of magnet. I did a class with about 20 people in Washington, and it was actually on something else, but I got so much feedback during the week I was there from just using ordinary magnets. Now, if you want to get into this or put it into your practice or anything, then I suggest you get more like a healing frequency pen. Anyway, let's take a magnet. And I would suggest that you take that date and write it boldly so you're looking at it. And then start just like this. With the emotion code, you go down the back. If I was clearing you, I would start at the top of the head and come down your spine. But if you're doing it to yourself, you can't really do that unless you're really clever. So I start here in the small of the neck, right there, and come down the front. The idea is to pass, through the spine, through the chakra course. So start here and just look at that date and say, I am now choosing to release the trapped emotion from my body. The trapped emotion that was placed there 88 days before I was born. I am now ready to release this trapped emotion from my body. And as I release this trapped emotion, I release anybody or anything that was tied into it. As I release completely this trapped emotion from 88 days before I was born, I release myself, release it from my body, and release it from anybody that was attached to it, freeing all of us. As I choose right now to release this trapped emotion from 88 days before I was born, forever, from my body, for me and anyone connected to it now. Then press it in as low as you can. Take a deep breath. And I always come back to the prayer position and just let that energy sink in whenever I do the emotion code. And you have released that trapped emotion. If you're helping anybody else out, do it down their back, okay? You can have them. Ra said that when you look at your chart, even if you don't understand it, if you don't know anything about human design, your higher self knows, it understands this whole sequence of things. So you can just look at it and decide, and then do the emotion code to clear it. The other thing I wanted to do was also show you that you can use EFT, Emotional Freedom Technique. Now, personally, I would use the emotion code for the 88 days. I don't really have a reason why, but it seems to sit with me. But what I would do with the EFT, and I taught it in a couple of the classes that I did, I would look at my human design chart and I would see the centers that are defined or undefined, depending, and I would tap out the negative and tap in the positive. You'll have the recording of what those centers, are for, and so you'll be able to use your own wording. But basically it will go something like this. Let's say you had a defined emotional center. And with the defined emotional center, you never make a decision in the moment. You have to ride the wave, all right? Especially if the decision has any emotion to it. But basically, human design says if that center is defined, the emotional center, you should never make a decision in the moment. So let's say you have one. So you start with the karate chop. Even though I have a defined emotional center, and I know I shouldn't make decisions in the moment, I have. But I am now ready to forgive myself and change that. Even though I have this defined emotional center, and I have made decisions in the moment that have not been good for me, I forgive myself, and I'm going to change that right now. Now that I know I have a defined emotional center, I will always pause and take the time before I make a decision. Whether it's a day, a week, or whether it's just moments, I will take a deep breath, center myself before I make a decision. I forgive myself for making decisions that were not good for me. I know that with this emotional center that I've probably made a lot of wrong decisions, and I forgive myself. Now I am ready to empower that center. Now that I know that that center is defined, I will never make a decision without pausing. I know that I should never make a decision in the moment, and it is empowering to know that. Whenever I have to make a decision in the moment, I will pause, I will take a deep breath, and I will listen to my intuition, because my mind should never, ever make the decision. Wow, this is so empowering. From now on, I will pause before I make any major decision. And that is the truth. Deep breath. Now, if it's undefined, all right, you might, you need to tap on it the other way. So even though I have an undefined emotional center, I seem to get pulled into other people's emotional issues. And I'm choosing now to free myself from this and to gain the wisdom by observing the emotions of others. I can always tie in to happy thoughts and happy emotions. And now I'm choosing to do that. And then you can use incidents in your life, you know. I always get emotional around this situation or with this person. Or let's say you have an emotional person in your life, all right? Even though I always get overly emotional with my other half or with my child or with whoever, I realize I'm picking up their emotion. I forgive myself and I pull myself back into the center where I can be wise and not go into that emotion. I like having the emotional center open. It brings me great wisdom. All open centers have the ability to gain wisdom. As I observe my emotions and others when I am in contact with them, I am getting wiser and wiser. It is wonderful to only accept those positive, loving, vibrant emotions. Negative emotions do not belong to me, and I will no longer assimilate them. I am free, and that is the truth. Deep breath. Okay, let's say you have a defined heart center. I talked about the heart center, and I talked about that heart center because it's really important for health, because we don't want to put a strain on our heart either way, whether it's defined or undefined. So let's look at the defined center. That is a strong will. And right now, as you watch this video, I want you to give yourself a gift. And that gift is to take that will and use it for yourself. This is not a selfish thing. This is a real thing. If you came in with that defined, you have a wonderful heart and a wonderful, strong will. But many times we impose that will on others, and we mean well by it. I mean, especially for example, in the area of being a parent. Oh my God, you know, you want to tell them because after all, you know. And it's not about not guiding them. It's about that passion, that intensity that always comes from, you know, either worrying or whatever. Okay, that is what you want to not do. You can still give them advice. And it's amazing sometimes when you give the advice, staying in your own center, it sometimes has an even better impact than when you're willfully trying to help somebody who doesn't want to be helped. So make that choice now. Let's come to the karate point. Even though I've sometimes tried to impose my will outside of myself, and meaning to do it for a good reason, I know that this is not healthy for me. And I forgive myself. And I choose to change that now. Now I'm going to use that will for what I want, and only for myself. I am choosing right now to take my willpower and use it for myself. I am going to use my will to attract the right people, the right situations into my life that are joyful and fulfill me. I am ready now to use that will to gain perfect health. Every organ, every cell of my body, every muscle, bone, tendon, every part of me is listening. I am using my willpower to heal my body, to bring my body into perfect alignment. I have a powerful will, and my body is listening. Every organ, every cell of my body is getting healthier and healthier. I can feel that happening right now, and that is the truth. Deep breath. Then, even though I haven't always used my will for myself and what I want, I'm going to do it now. I am choosing right now to use that wonderful willpower that I have for myself. I am attracting the right people and the right situations that will help fulfill my dreams. I am attracting love and companionship and caring. I am attracting great prosperity and success. I am choosing to be happy and to create and to attract wonderful, joyful situations in my life. I am using my willpower to embrace what is good in me and allow others to be wherever they want to be. I wish them well, but I'm now choosing to use that will center for myself. And I feel powerful and happy that I can create new, wonderful situations in my life with this willpower that I have. I'm going to begin right now, and I'm going to tap on a lot more things. And that is the truth. Deep breath. Okay, so you've got the idea. Go through all the centers, recognize where you've not used them positively, all right? And for example, the sense of self, that diamond in the middle, if it's defined, you know who you are. But also that definition of knowing who you are can sometimes get in the way of thinking you can't be something else or something more. You have to look at your own life, obviously. If it's undefined, we tend to do things that other people think we should do. Oh, you're good at this, or you'll be very good at that. And so we scatter ourselves all over the place. If it is undefined, accept that there's many facets to you and tap on not accepting somebody else's definition of who you are. The mind is something else. Never, never make a decision with the mind. There's a ton more information on human design. I'll give you a couple of titles of books. My friend Karen Flaherty just came out with a brand new one this month, and she explains it very simply and very nicely. So I'll give you the name of that. And do these tapping sessions. And it's amazing what you can tap out and what you can tap in. So we've got rid of the 88-day. Now, look at the other centers, have fun, and blessings.